Hi, Professor Meow. It's Kristen Cheney. I hope you're doing well, and I really do appreciate you letting me record my speech rather than coming into class. I've been doing better with my epilepsy. Yesterday, I actually had a bad time. My body's adjusting to the pills I'm taking, and it's not very fun because some of the side effects. But I do want to say thank you again for letting me record my video rather than coming in. Okay, so for today, I'm going to discuss my research project. I do have a slideshow, and I can definitely send it to you. I know it's kind of hard because I'm on my phone, but recording that. But I'm just going to go through it, and here we go. So, does social media cause low body image and body dissatisfaction? By Kristen Cheney. So is it worth exploring? Yes, definitely worth exploring. Not only because we live in Hawaii and there's people in their bathing suits every day, and all my friends are trying to be as thin as possible and looking great in their bikini, but all around the world. Social media has a big impact on girls and everywhere in the world, and can really cause some damage if it's influencing the wrong things. Today's society is so technologically driven. It's mind-blowing, actually. But Instagram, Victoria's Secret models, magazines, they all have a big say in what is cool and what's in and what's the new thing. And so, like, going through back in my research, like, going back to the first body image, like, where that was, like, the most popular thing, it's, like, the round, hourglass shape, but now, as we keep progressing, it would be the stick figure, like, Twiggy, and then now it's incredibly small again. Girls look up to these models all the time because of the amount of followers they have, because the world puts them out to be something so amazing, but in reality they're most likely very unhealthy and in the long run are not going to do well. There's even an A4 challenge on Instagram where girls are trying to be as thin as the paper, and a normal 12 by 12 like printer paper, and people are really like going crazy over this and trying their very best to be as small as possible. And it's so worth exploring because there's so much research already on this topic, because health and body image is always going to be such a prominent aspect. So here is a picture, actually. I don't know if you can, this is, let's see, I'm not sure if you can see. That's just a model these days, and I mean, you can see every rib possible, every bone. You can see under her eyes, it's just, you can tell she's not healthy. So for my method research, I did quantitative research. I used surveys, and surveys, it measures media and consumption / uses patterns, communication styles, attitudes, and beliefs. I chose this because I figured it would be the easiest and most convenient way for the softball team, the 20-person team, to get this. I just handed it out to them day after practice. They took the time, filled it out, and I'll talk about my implications after. But so I used this. This was a really good image, the ideal body image. Oh, let's see. It's the thing you showed me. It's all these images, and it's very interesting to see which or what each person chose. And so now we're going to talk about the results. So through the scale I just showed you, let's see, 0 people chose the first one, which is good because she's incredibly small and unrealistic. And I'm not sure if this had to do with because I chose the softball team or what, but 7 out of the 20 people chose body image 2, and 16 chose body image number 3, and 3 people chose body image 4. I have a chart, let's see, that I would have presented in class as well. And let's see. Sorry. The survey I used, I thought it answered pretty good questions. Wow, that bird. So it's, wow, sorry. So out of the 20 people I surveyed, I asked about magazines, I asked about all these various things that I felt were important to ask about with body image. So out of 20 people I surveyed, 10 of them do read women's magazines, and the 10 don't. I'm not sure if this has to do with this, it's because it's softball players, or there's probably not a lot of time, but I like to read magazines a lot, and 18 out of the 20 participants do feel pressure from society in general for their bodies to look a certain way. So that right there, that's 18 of the 20 people feel pressure from social media to feel a certain way. And that is a lot of people out of the 20. So clearly you can see the correlation between social media and the pressure of being thin. And so I asked each person which form of social media do they use most. And everyone said Instagram, which I found very, actually unsurprising because of the way our days are. I mean, you go on campus everywhere and you see people just scrolling through their Instagram feed. It's a very popular site, and I personally do follow models and people for fitness inspiration. But I think there's a fine line between fitness inspiration and unhealthiness. 14 out of the 20 people I surveyed, they do indeed feel pressure through Instagram to diet because of how thin everyone is, and even your friends. Because living in Hawaii, you just realize how important it is to look good in your bikini because you're in it a lot. There is an account, I was on the Explore page on Instagram, and it's called Skinny Girls Make Graves. It is actually one that's quite regularly on my feed, unfortunately, and I also wanted to see the reaction to this photo in my survey. It's really small, I think, but right there, she's some people would think she's healthy looking. Her stomach is incredibly thin. So when I did ask the participants this question, 8 of them chose healthy and the other 12 chose thin. So I'm not, it's kind of, almost half and half, kind of. And I'm not sure if that has to do with the softball girls who are sometimes a little more muscular and can bring on the heat. And they just know that that's not their body type, and so they think that's just too thin. But I was very curious to see which girls did say it was thin and which ones said it was healthy, because the ones that said it was healthy more so resemble them. As I got more into asking about their personal bodies, I wanted to go deeper and examine how they felt while watching the Victoria's Secret show. And actually, every one of them have seen the show in the past or through social media, because it's so big. And out of the 18 participants, they saw the fashion show. Oh yeah, so 18 said, but 2 felt good about their bodies. So And only 2 said they felt good about their bodies while watching the Victoria's Secret show. Only 2 people. And I just find that horrible. Only 2 people out of the 20. Like, that's brutal. But 5 said they felt okay about their bodies. 1 felt only neutral about their bodies. And a whopping 7 felt bad about their bodies while watching the Victoria's Secret fashion show. And 5 felt sad/depressed about the way their bodies looked. So 5 out of the 20 think that they got sad and depressed. This can easily lead to anorexia, bulimia, and just overall body dissatisfaction, because the whole world is praising these women who are 5'11", 118 pounds. I mean, that is like up there. Okay, so now some implications of my research. I really wish I could have like sat down with each participant and kind of maybe still done the survey, but then kind of got more of a explanation for why they chose a certain answer. And also, I was thinking maybe if I did some softball athletes and then some of my friends who are non-athletes, because athletes, we have a lot of coaches, trainers, always weighing us in, trying to make sure we maintain our best body weight, or best playing body. So that means it could be anything, because softball is very power driven and you want to be fast, but a lot of the power comes from hitting the balls, and to hit the balls well, you need to have power and strength and muscle. So I wish I didn't do all the softball players, because I feel like they might be a tad biased, because they do work out every day. And also, though, everyone does have very different body shapes, and so I feel like, not that I could choose a person that had the same one, but it would have been curious to choose, or it would have been interesting to see how people who have the same body types felt about the different body images. And so those were some of the implications I felt, but overall, I really enjoyed my research, and I think it's such a topic that can go in so much more depth, and it can really, I think this is something that needs to be talked about often, because girls, women, men, boys, we should all feel proud in the skin and the body that we're in. And I think after doing this research, for me personally, it really helped me and understand everyone is different, and no one's going to have the same body type as someone who is so honored in social media, when in reality, it's not about social media, it's about how you feel in your skin, and if you think you're healthy, and that's all that matters. If you feel good and people around you love you and you have good relationships, the way you look should not matter. So, thank you for listening, and I really enjoyed this semester. So, thank you, Professor Meow.